Today, we will do the summary of the story The Great Mouse Plot. If you have not watched the video of the complete lesson, here is a link to it. That video will give you all the details, while this one is only a very brief summary of the entire lesson. Hi everyone, I'm Elaine from English Made Easy. I'm an English teacher, and this channel is dedicated to creating easy and interesting lessons so that you can improve your English in an enjoyable way. If you would like to receive such lessons in future, do subscribe to English Made Easy. That way, you will get notified each time I post new content. Today, I assure you that you will understand the story The Great Mouse Plot much better, as this lesson will give you a gist of it. However, I must request you to watch the entire video from start to finish so that you can get proper value from it. It is a short one and it will not hold you long. The summary of the story is brief and easy to understand. I have added pictures as well so that it is more interesting. Shall we begin? This is a summary of The Great Mouse Plot, which is an extract from Boy by Roald Dahl. The narrator and his four friends found a loose floorboard at the back of their classroom with a hollow space underneath. This is a floorboard. Each one of these is a board. So there was one of these boards in the classroom that was loose. When they lifted the board up, they found a space underneath, a hollow space. They made it their secret hiding place and would store treasures like sweets there. So they lifted the floorboard and they would keep their treasures over there. They would examine their collection every afternoon after the last lesson when everyone had left the classroom. So the classroom was made of floorboards like this, and the narrator and his four friends, there were five boys. They found a loose floorboard at the back of the classroom. They lifted it, they found a hollow space underneath, which was ideal to store treasures, the kind of treasures that boys will have, like sweets and all kind of odd things. So they kept their collection over there every day. And every afternoon after the last lesson, when all the other children had left the class, they would go there, lift the floorboard up, and examine all the treasures that they had. One afternoon, they did the same thing. They lifted the floorboard in the afternoon when everyone had left the class. But they found a dead mouse there in their secret place. It was stinking. They wanted to throw it out, but the narrator had an idea. He said they should put it into Mrs. Pratchett's jar of sweets to play a prank on her and worry her, as she was very unkind to them. So that's the dead mouse they found. And they were going to throw it out because it was stinking, but the narrator said that they should not throw it out because he had an awesome idea. And what was his idea? He thought of Mrs. Pratchett. She owned a sweet shop. And every time the boys went to her sweet shop, Mrs. Pratchett was rude to them. So they decided, the narrator decided, that it would be great to play a prank on her so that she would be upset, just like she had upset them in the past. And how would they play a prank on her? They would take this dead mouse and put it into a jar of sweets in her sweet shop. Mrs. Pratchett owned a sweet shop. Everyone liked the idea, so the narrator put the mouse in his pocket and they went to the shop. So now they're going to carry out the plan. They went to the sweet shop. The narrator is the one who had the idea, so he's the one who's going to do it. And he had the dead mouse in his pocket when the boys went to the sweet shop. Mrs. Pratchett was there. There she is. Thwaites distracted her by asking for a toffee. They needed to distract her so that they could put the dead mouse into one of her jars of sweets. So he asked for a toffee and distracted her. The narrator found a jar of gobstoppers. These are gobstoppers. They're really hard candy. Um, they could break your teeth if you're not careful. So he lifted the lid and he put the mouse in it. Then the boys ran home after praising the narrator for what he had done. They left the shop and ran for their lives. But they were very excited about what they had done. The next morning, the boys stopped at the sweet shop on their way to school to peep inside and see what Mrs. Pratchett was doing, but they could not see her. The sweet shop was supposed to be open, Mrs. Pratchett was supposed to be there, but the boys could not see Mrs. Pratchett anywhere. They could see something though. They could see broken pieces of glass and the dead mouse lying there. So I'm sure you can guess what happened, just like they could guess what happened. The boys began to get worried. They heard the school bell ringing and ran to school. Now they're worried. It was assembly time. The headmaster, Mr. Combs, asked the children to line up around the playground. There comes the headmaster. His name was Mr. Combs. He asked the children to line up around the playground. So there the children are all lined up. When the door opened, Mr. Combs and Mrs. Pratchett began to walk down the line of boys. They began to examine the boys, and then Mrs. Pratchett slowly identified each one of the boys who had been to her shop the previous day. She caught them all, and the headmaster wrote their names down. With that, we've come to the end of the summary. If the lesson today has helped you, do hit that like button and share it with your friends who might need it. Do let me know if there is anything else I can help you with. Write your questions in the comments below and I will reach out to you as soon as I can. Thank you for being with me today, and I certainly hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care and bye.